Your engine doesn't die from age. It dies from a $2 jug of the wrong coolant, sitting on a store shelf right now, and you're about to grab it without thinking twice. This video exposes 7 antifreeze brands that mechanics quietly warn each other about but never warn you, and by the end of the next few minutes you'll understand why one wrong pour at the counter can turn into a $4,000 head gasket nightmare in 18 months. Consumer Reports has flagged additive failures across multiple mainstream coolant lines, and NHTSA complaint databases are packed with owners describing the exact same slow-motion betrayal, a car that ran fine until the day it just didn't. You trust the color on the bottle. You trust the price tag. That trust is exactly what's about to cost you. Number 7. Peak. You see the name on the shelf, and you assume every bottle inside that brand is the same safe formula. But that assumption is a gamble you can't afford. Peak's global lifetime formula is genuinely clean, but their long-life version is loaded with 2-ethylhexanoic acid, a plasticizer that quietly softens the silicone gaskets your intake manifold depends on. You won't notice the damage today. You'll notice it 18 months from now when your engine starts eating its own coolant, and nobody can tell you why. Owners running GM platforms have reported this exact failure pattern. Coolant vanishing from the reservoir with no visible leak, until a mechanic finally traces it to a swollen intake gasket that Peak helped destroy. The repair bill for that fix routinely lands between $600 and $1,100, and that's before you count the tow. Peak isn't a coolant you can grab blindly off the shelf. It's a coin flip wearing a familiar label. Number 6. Prestone. This is the coolant sitting in almost every garage in America, and that's exactly the problem. Because familiarity is not the same thing as safety. Prestone's extended life formulas lean hard on that same 2-EHA additive, the one Honda and Toyota engineers explicitly designed their factory fluids to avoid. When that additive breaks down from heat cycling and age, it doesn't just weaken. It turns your coolant into what mechanics bluntly call engine cholesterol, a thick sludge that clogs heater cores and chokes narrow radiator passages. Add Prestone stop leak products into the mix, and you've built a ticking time bomb. Because those sealant particles can't tell the difference between a hairline radiator crack and the tiny channels feeding your heater core. Once that core clogs, you're looking at a repair that regularly runs past $900, plus a cabin that blows ice-cold air in the dead of winter. Prestone is proof that a famous name on the shelf means nothing when the chemistry inside is working against your engine. Number 5. SuperTech. Walmart's house brand looks like a bargain, but cheap coolant is rarely cheap for long. SuperTech is manufactured by different suppliers depending on the region and the batch, which means the jug in your cart today might be chemically different from the one you bought last year, and you have zero way to verify which additive package you're actually getting. Independent testing has found inconsistent corrosion inhibitor levels across SuperTech batches, and some samples showed weaker freeze protection than the label promised. A dangerous surprise the first time temperatures drop below zero. That inconsistency is a financial trap disguised as a discount, because a $3 savings at checkout can spiral into a $1,000 water pump replacement once weak inhibitors let corrosion take hold. Your engine doesn't care that you saved money, it only cares what's actually protecting its metal, and with SuperTech you genuinely don't know. Number 4. A store brand called Rally sold at discount auto parts chains. This one looks professional, packaged like a premium product, priced like a bargain, and that combination is exactly what makes it dangerous. Rally's formulas have repeatedly tested light on anti-rust additives, leaving your radiator, water pump, and heater core more exposed to corrosion than a properly inhibited coolant would allow. Multiple owner complaints filed with consumer watchdog groups describe cracked radiators and failed water pumps within 2 years of using this coolant. A pattern that's hard to write off as coincidence once you see how often it repeats. When a company can't consistently protect the metal your entire cooling system is built from, you're not buying coolant, you're buying a slow-motion disaster with a delayed invoice. Number 3. AC Delco's older Dex-Cool formulation, still floating around older stock on some shelves. This coolant earned its reputation the hard way, through a documented history of turning brown and thick when it sits too long or runs low, leaving deposits inside radiators and overflow tanks that choke coolant flow. Once flow drops, heat gets trapped, your water pump works overtime, and gaskets that were never designed for that stress start to fail. On certain older GM V6 and V8 engines, this exact chemistry became a well-known warning sign among independent mechanics, tied to intake gasket failures that left owners staring at repair estimates well over $1,000. This isn't a coolant you pour in and forget for years. It demands constant checking, and one missed inspection can turn into an engine you can't trust anymore. Number 2. STP's Stop Leak Coolant Additive. STP built its name on oil treatments, so when you see their logo on a coolant product, you assume the trust carries over, but that assumption is exactly the trap. The base coolant formula is unremarkable, but the stop leak line is where the real financial damage hides. Drivers reach for it the moment they spot a puddle under the car, thinking they've found a $5 fix, but those sealant fibers clog everything indiscriminately: radiator cracks, water pump seals, and the narrow passages inside your heater core all get gummed up at once. Cooling efficiency drops, your engine runs hotter, and the very additive meant to save you money ends up demanding a full system flush, and sometimes a full heater core replacement, a repair that can climb past $800. A quick fix that creates a bigger failure isn't a fix at all, it's a costly mistake wearing a trusted brand's name. Number 1. Unbranded dollar store universal coolant with no manufacturer specification listed anywhere on the bottle. This is the worst of everything you've just heard combined into a single jug. No listed corrosion inhibitor package, no disclosed additive chemistry, no accountability if something goes wrong. Just a bright-colored liquid promising to work in every car ever built. That promise is a lie your engine will pay for. Universal coolants with unverified chemistry have been linked in owner forums and independent shop reports to accelerated corrosion, gasket degradation, and coolant that turns to sludge within a single season, especially in aluminum engines that demand precise inhibitor balance. When you pour an unknown chemical cocktail into a cooling system engineered to exact tolerances, you're not saving money. You're gambling your entire engine on a bottle that won't even tell you what's inside it. This is the coolant that turns a routine top-off into total engine replacement. And no discount is worth that regret. You now know exactly which coolants are quietly working against your engine, and which ones protect the investment you've already made. Every one of these brands proves the same brutal truth. The cheapest bottle at the counter is almost never the cheapest choice in the long run. Your engine's cooling system is the one thing standing between a normal Tuesday drive and a tow truck. So don't let a $2 decision become a $4,000 disaster. If you liked this video, subscribe to my channel and drop a comment letting me know where you're watching from, because the next video breaks down the coolant brands mechanics actually trust with their own vehicles, and you don't want to miss it.